Well, here we are. We are live. This is my goodness, this is the first time we've done a session like this, and it's all about managing anxiety on the golf course. This is something I've struggled with personally for years and years and years. I mean, who of you have been on the golf course and you get to the first tee and you just can't stop shaking? Right? I mean, anxiety and the golf course seems to be paired so strongly. Like it blows my mind. Even now, 40, I started golfing when I was 10 years old. I'm 48 years old. Even now, golfing, first tee jitters, shaking hands on the tee. I mean, I run long drive events and professional long drivers, hands will shake on the tee on the first hole. Or if you're trying to hit over water, what's the first thing we say over water? Oh crap, I'm going over water. And then we take out an old ball and say, I'm going to use my water ball instead of using your regular golf ball, right? For me, the worst when I was on the tour playing tour golf was making that 3 or 4 foot putt to save par, to not drop a shot, or heck, sometimes to save double or triple just to not have a really big score on my scorecard. But those moments of anxiety just for me, they elevated my heart rate, they elevated my temperature and all of that stuff. And I just got so angry or just anxious every time that happened. And I'm like, how does this stuff go away? But it didn't. So we have some experts here today. And the experts are from Redbird Therapy, and they are Anne Rogerson and Barbara Brown. And they are going to help us with some exercises that we can do to help manage our anxiety. So I'm going to invite them into this group, and then we'll see what they have to say. And I think we'll be. I think you'll be very. I think you'll be very uh, pleased with what they have to tell us, because I wish I had known these strategies when I was on the tour, playing tour golf, because goodness knows that would have helped me save a few shots. So welcome Redbird Therapy, welcome Anne, welcome Barbara. For those of you who are coming to my October 1st, 5th year anniversary smashing celebration in Fort Erie on Saturday, these two are holding the clinic on managing your anxiety. So you get to see them live and in person teaching the strategies, and they're going to give us a little tidbit on what they do. So, tell me, Anne or Barbara, what happens when we get anxious? Like, what's the science behind anxiety? Barbara, I'll go to you.
Okay, that's a great question because our bodies are really powerful machines, and anxiety is an incredibly powerful force in our bodies. So very simply, our nervous system sends us two messages. One, like, oh no, something's wrong, and they get us ready to run, or fight, or deer in the headlights freeze. The other message is, hey, no problem, things are okay, let's just chill. The oh no is our sympathetic nervous system. It generates adrenaline, cortisol, and that's super helpful if you have to get away from a predator, or you have to carry a kid up 10 flights of stairs after being hit by a hockey puck, which actually did happen. But it's not so helpful if you want to have a really smooth, easy swing, that capitalizes on all that torque in rotation, and you want to send your ball flying down the fairway. So adrenaline and cortisol, those are anxieties, biochemicals, and honestly, who has not felt that walking up to a tee? Of course, it tightens us up, right? It makes our breathing really shallow. When our breathing is shallow, we have less power. We have less finesse. We have less control. And you know what? Our brain's gone, blank. We're not thinking about what we're doing. So learning how to manage your breathing, your anxiety, your body in those moments will help give you that edge in your game, 100%. Anne and I, when we meet on the course, we are going to focus on how to tap into the it's okay, let's chill, part of your nervous system. That's called the parasympathetic nervous system. And we want to tap in enough to give you increased control and increased power.
So what you're saying is these two systems, we call it the oh crap or oh heck, the oh crap response versus the let's chill response, those two responses can be trained. No, the oh crap response is innate. The oh chill response can be trained, correct?
Yeah, no, they're both built in. They're both hardwired in, but the oh no or the oh crap is going to win every time. And what we can do is use our mind and our body to cool it down enough to give us, you want maybe a little edge of a nervousness.
Adrenaline.
Yeah, a little bit of adrenaline, but not too much, right? Because you lose too much if you're overwhelmed and too anxious. So
Yeah,
what
and
we
it's
learn is how to do some control just to like bring it down to a usable level.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it depends on the type of sport that you're playing, right? So there are some sports where you want to get amped up and you want to get, full adrenaline, and where it doesn't matter whether your ball goes in the water or not. You really just like long drive, you want that full adrenaline power, you want to go, 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 go. But on the golf course, if you go in the water or you go out of bounds, there's a two-stroke penalty. And I found that really hard to do when I was playing tour golf, was really try to channel that, okay, I really want to play well and I'm all amped up and I'm an athlete and I'm adrenaline and I'm all that stuff, but I got to control my golf swing for 4 hours on the golf
Yeah,
course. I have to
yeah,
stay calm. I have to stay
yeah,
cool, but also my personality is a go, go, go type of person, right? So for me, I found it so hard to just simmer it down, and I kept telling myself, simmer down far, and really just trying to bring everything down to a reasonable level where I could make that 4 foot putt, not thinking, oh, if I don't make this putt, I don't make a rent check. Or, if I go out of bounds here, then I miss the cut, or whatever, or I'm playing in a scramble and I let my scramble team down. Like anxiety comes in all different forms, but I think everyone who's joined us today on the live will know, or is seeing this recording will know they have all felt anxiety at some point on the golf course. So what I'm hearing you say is we can train this chill response in our brains, and I think you're going to maybe teach us how, if I may be so bold, what type of things golfers can do to reduce the anxiety on the golf course. And
Yeah, and I think that's so great too that you mentioned there's so many different things that can create anxiety, right? Like for a lot of folks, when they're on the golf course, there's so much pressure. So of course you're going to feel anxious. And I think it's important, like Barbara said, the two different nervous systems, we can lean into the parasympathetic nervous system, right? And so let's talk about how we can do that. There's different ways, but one of the techniques that we'll be teaching on the golf course on October 1st for the event is we're going to be looking at some breath work. And so what we want to do with this breath work is really lean into that parasympathetic nervous system, that nervous system that says, okay, I'm really feeling it, but I can chill out, right? And that's what we're trying to lean into. So if you're feeling comfortable, let's just do a quick breath work here. I'll go over.
totally. Yeah, let's
okay,
do it.
all right, cool, let's do it.
Before we do though, get sitting comfortably, do a little body check. How are you feeling? How would you rate the anxiety, maybe the tension in your body? What are you feeling at this moment? And sitting comfortably, you can bring some softness to the area. For example, I know for me, when I get anxious, my chest gets pretty tight. So I can just bring some softness to that area, and whatever works for you too. In this breath work, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be breathing in through our nose, and you're going to be inhaling as comfortable, holding it, and then exhaling through the nose longer than the inhale. And this is really going to help you tap into that parasympathetic nervous system. So if you're comfortable, let's do that now. You can keep your eyes open or closed. It really doesn't matter. I'll have my eyes closed, but yeah, let's just jump in. So we'll start with our first breath. We'll go in through the nose, holding for as long as comfortable. And when you're ready, exhaling through the nose, nice and slow.
Okay, slow is the key. I just did it really fast.
Slow is the key. And then when you're ready, we'll inhale again through the nose, holding it. And when you're ready, exhaling nice and slow, and really trying to exhale longer than the inhale. So I'll invite everyone to just do one more breath. And as you do that, as you breathe in, really feel your lungs really expand, right? And the capacity to hold. And then hold. And when you're ready, exhaling and really feeling your lungs deflate as they prepare for their next breath. And then whenever everyone's ready, I'll welcome you back here. You can wiggle your shoulders or your toes, get back into it. And then we want to re-rate how we're feeling. I don't know about you guys, I'm feeling a lot better, even after a short amount of time.
Yeah, so what's really interesting is my initial I guess body wanted to do this like quick breath. Like I took this big long inhale and I wanted to go out really quickly, right? And then when you said go out slowly and I changed my next couple of breaths, I felt my whole body doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Like I felt everything just sinking down lower.
Yeah.
Like I felt it was kind of dropping into my chair a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is, oh, sorry.
You go ahead, Barbara, you got it.
I was going to say it's amazing because anxiety takes us up 100%. Our whole body goes up. And so that parasympathetic brings us down. So anything that brings us down helps our body send that message to our brain. It's okay. Yeah, no problem.
So our key is a long, slow inhale through the nose and then hold for as long as we need to.
Yeah, as long as you're comfortable.
And then a long, slow exhale out through the nose, longer than the inhale was.
Yeah.
Right? Would you recommend maybe 3 of those? Because remember, when we're golfing, you don't have a ton of time, right? So, you could do this as you're walking to the ball. You could do this maybe when you're standing at your ball and you're waiting. If it's not your turn and you're waiting for other people to hit, that's a really good time to just kind of settle yourself down. If you're feeling anxious, I mean, you're not going to be feeling anxious all 4 hours, but there'll be certain shots and certain times where you will be feeling anxious. And you can do that when you're maybe on the green, or standing over a putt, waiting for people to putt. You could do that while you're waiting for your shot, while other people are still waiting. Or if you're on the tee waiting for the group in front of you, right? When you're waiting for them before they get out of range, you could do a few breaths if you have an over the water type of shot or something like that.
Exactly. And that's why it's so great too, because that was 30 seconds, maybe. And in 30 seconds, we can experience such a significant coming down. And that's really going to for, any athlete, right? But especially in golfing, when you have to be, that mind-body connection is going to be so key to allow you to perform your best.
And I think, it's practice. I mean, when you want to be a better golfer, you practice, right? I always say you don't get better at golfing by playing more golf. You get better at golfing by practicing the swing on the driving range or on the putting green, right? And the same thing with this type of breath work, right? I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you would get better at this if you practice it more, right? Like, 100%.
Do you know? If folks do that 3 breaths 5 times a day, it changes our neurological activity equal to 1 hour of sitting meditation a day. So
Say that again. Wait. Say that again.
That 3 breath that Anne, 3 breaths. The breath that Anne taught. You do that breath 3 times together, 5 times a day. The neurological benefit is equal to 1 hour of sitting meditation.
Come on.
I'm serious, and I am never going to sit for an hour in meditation, honestly. But I definitely wake up, have 3 meals, and go to bed. That's 5. Or I definitely go to the bathroom 5 times a day. I'm getting old. You connect it. I'm going to walk to work, and I'm going to do it with that.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and no disrespect to people who can meditate for an hour. I just can't.
No, amazing.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty incredible. So, I think what we're on to here is you're telling us that there's a really powerful way that we actually all have within us that we can calm this anxiety in our brains, in our bodies. And I'm sure when we meet you on the golf course next Saturday, you're going to teach us a few more techniques that we can do the same things with, yes?
Yeah, there's some techniques. We're not going to get into our secrets here, but on the golf course, there's going to be some things that are going to be really helpful for the golfers.
And I can only imagine that as a therapy center in Toronto, that you deal with anxiety in so many different facets. I mean, we're just talking about one little, first world problem on the golf course, but certainly you're dealing with anxiety and depression and substance use and grief and bereavement and trauma, relationship issues, career, direction, addiction. These are all the things that you guys deal with. So, hey, folks who are listening, if you need any help with any of those things, please contact the fine therapist at Redbird Therapy. And I thank you both for joining me so much and giving us a little bit of your knowledge. And I'm super looking forward to seeing you both on October 1st at
We
Bridgewater
are
for the 5-year anniversary event.
totally pumped to be there. It's going to be an awesome day.
Yeah, we're
Awesome. Thanks so much, Anne. Thanks so much, Barbara. And thanks everyone for watching. And remember, 3 deep breaths in, hold, out a little longer than you're in, all through your nose. And you do that 3 breaths 5 times a day. And that's the same neurological effect as 1 hour of meditation. Mind blowing. Love it. Thank you so much, you guys. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Cheers.
Bye.